Anglo-Saxons blew up the Nord Stream. Ukrainian kamikazes decided to blow themselves up together with the Zaporizhia Nuclear Power Plant. The Ukrainian Army shelled the UN mission office in Sievierodonetsk, however, after it had left a long time ago. Detector media did all the dirty fact-checking work for you. We have separated real facts from those of a parallel universe. My name is Vadym Miskyi. In next 10 minutes I will tell you about the most impressive examples of Kremlin propaganda, as well as about certain international publications that use unverified sources of information. Here we go. Let's start with the manipulation around the explosions on both branches of the Nord Stream. Who is the mysterious agent that blew up the pipeline? As the Roman lawyer Cassius Ravilla said, who benefits? By the way, who wants Europe to freeze in winter and loves gas blackmail? What do you think? However, Russian propagandists didn't wait for the end of the official investigation. They have already found the criminal. Ukraine is suspected of sabotage on the Nord Stream pipeline, Russian media wrote. They refer to the German media Der Tagesspiegel, which took the information from its own sources. This is an outright manipulation. Stop Fake fact-checkers found the article which Russian media referred to. This is a personal opinion by journalist Jakob Schland. The author discussed the possibility of both Russia and Ukraine damaging the pipeline. However, he calls the accusations against Kyiv theories that cannot be confirmed. Russia, in his opinion, has more reasons to carry out such an attack, as the Kremlin has been using energy blackmail for several months. According to CNN, on September 26 and 27, European security officials saw Russian Navy ships and submarines near the leaks in the Nord Stream. This was reported by Western intelligence officials. Currently, it is not known if the ships had any role in the attack. The investigators are still studying the evidence. Russian media deliberately silence information about the possible sabotage by Russia and focus only on Ukraine.
First on CNN, sources telling us that European security officials observed Russian Navy ships earlier this week in the vicinity of those leaks in the Nord Stream pipelines that were likely caused by underwater explosions.
However, Kremlin has to decide who was the bad guy that blew up the pipes, made of up to 41 mm thick steel and surrounded by 110 mm of concrete. Was it Ukraine, the US, or those devilish Anglo-Saxons?
Но англосаксам уже мало санкций. Они перешли к диверсиям. Невероятно, но факт. Организовав взрывы на международных газовых магистралях Северного потока, которые проходят по дну Балтийского моря, фактически приступили к уничтожению общеевропейской энергетической инфраструктуры. Всем же очевидно, кому это выгодно. Кому выгодно, тот и сделал, конечно.
Выгодно ли произошедшее с Северным потоком Соединенным Штатам? Безусловно. Американские поставщики сжиженного газа должны праздновать кратное увеличение поставок СПГ на европейский континент. А с политической точки зрения разорвана последняя нитка, обеспечивающая самостоятельность Евросоюза в области энергетики. Европу ожидает очень темная, холодная и долгая зима. В связи с этими простыми и логическими вопросами я хочу спросить представителей США. Вы можете подтвердить прямо сейчас в этом зале, что ваша страна не имеет отношения к этой диверсии?
Another impressive Russian propaganda fake. It turns out that Ukraine has such strong suicidal impulses that it wanted to make a second Fukushima on its territory. The lie is that the International Atomic Energy Agency confirmed that Kyiv was involved in shelling the Zaporizhia Nuclear Power Plant. That's what the Russian media reported. In short, the international experts who visited the power plant are said to have seen Ukraine shelling it. This is false. According to the EU versus Disinfo project researchers, the Atomic Agency did not tell about a Ukrainian shelling, neither before this fake story was published nor after, although the Atomic Agency experts did see shelling near the power plant. They did not blame it on any side. This way, propagandists tried to accuse Ukraine on dangerous actions around the nuclear power plant and to avoid any responsibility on their part. Russia has created many threats. It placed vehicles and troops at the nuclear power plant, used the area around it as a launch site for missiles, and damaged power lines. Continuing the nuclear topic. Imagine, Ukraine is being prepared for a nuclear accident which will be arranged by third parties, but Russia will be blamed. This is what pro-Russian Telegram channels write. They don't name these crazy kamikazes who are ready to start a mini Armageddon just to damage Russia's perfect image. They claim that just the fact of a nuclear strike on Ukraine will be important, and they will not investigate who caused it. They say that because of this, the Ukrainian government made a manual on how to behave during a nuclear emergency. Russia has regularly threatened Ukraine and the world with nuclear weapons since February 24th. In the beginning of the full-scale invasion, the Russians put their nuclear forces on special alert. In his speech on September 21st, Putin again threatened to use nuclear weapons if there was a direct threat to Russian territory, adding that this was not a bluff. Because the danger is serious, Ukrainian government developed recommendations for the citizens. This is what Russian propaganda immediately called preparing for nuclear emergency. Russia uses informational terrorism to make Ukraine negotiate on Kremlin terms. The US warned Putin that using nuclear weapons in Ukraine will have catastrophic consequences.
It's true, and it is a matter that we have to take deadly seriously because it is a matter of paramount seriousness, the possible use of nuclear weapons for the first time since the Second World War. We have communicated directly, privately, at very high levels to the Kremlin that any use of nuclear weapons will be met with catastrophic consequences for Russia.
This is how the Russia Today propaganda channel reacts to the White House statements. Sarcasm is off the charts. Quote, the United States told the Kremlin at a very high level that using nuclear weapons would have catastrophic consequences for Russia. According to Russia Today's diplomatic source, the very high level was Sullivan himself. Sarcasm seems inappropriate when it comes to nuclear weapons use. France is an accomplice to genocide in the temporarily occupied territories of Ukraine. Pro-Russian media spread this clickbait message. How do you like it? Did the Kremlin make this up or the propagandists themselves? They say that Ukraine is shelling Donbass using French Caesar systems, making France an accomplice in made-up crimes against civilians. The EU versus Disinfo project fact-checkers noticed this story. They pointed out that Russian propaganda has been talking about Ukraine shelling the Donbass since 2014. Propagandists called it genocide. However, it is the Russian actions in Ukraine that really look like genocide. Western countries helped Kyiv to defend from the Russian invasion and supply the needed weapons. In particular, France provided the Ukrainian army with 18 Caesar artillery systems. These guns are precision weapons that minimize collateral damage. Austrians demand to stop supporting Ukraine. This is what Russian media report. Another manipulations from the Kremlin propagandists. Looks more like a dream that will never come true. Here's what they say. Most Austrians want their country to be neutral. For this, it is necessary to stop helping Kyiv and cancel sanctions against Russia. They say that an article in the Austrian newspaper Express with an open letter added motivation to their statements. 47,000 Austrians are said to have signed it, and this is not true. According to the insider fact-checkers, the letter published in Express contains pro-Russian narratives. Apart from the total number of signers, no other information says that it was the Austrians who signed the letter. There are no usernames in the letter. That is, there are no proof that they are people, not bots. Anyone from any country can sign up and vote. The website doesn't even verify email addresses. The population of Austria is around 9 million, so even 47,000 is only 0.5%, not a majority, as the propagandists claim. According to a survey by Eurobarometer, an international public opinion poll project under the European Commission, 50% of Austrian citizens are satisfied with the EU's reaction to Russian aggression. They support supplying military equipment to Ukraine. 64% are in favor of sanctions against Russia. Ukrainian troops shelled the UN mission office in Sievierodonetsk. The sensational message was spread by Russian media. However, according to Stop Fake, the UN mission has been out of the city for more than 7 months. We don't know what's now in the building the UN mission used to inhabit. Fact-checkers, however, found a video showing Russian military vehicles near the building. The UN mission left it before March 2022. This may be proof that there was a military headquarters in the building. Russian propagandists write headlines about the UN mission office shelled to spread the message that Ukrainian forces attack civilian targets. Traitors. According to Russian media, that's what Ukraine will call those who remain in the occupied territories. They spread these rumors to scare people. Like all of them will be punished for collaboration. But as a matter of fact, Ukraine doesn't have laws like that. On March 15th, Ukraine adopted some responsibility measures on collaboration with invaders. The punishment depends on the case and can be very different, from a ban on holding certain positions to a life sentence. However, this is about cooperation, not just staying in the occupied territories. Before that, propagandists said that Ukrainians would be punished for receiving Russian humanitarian aid in the occupied territories, which also was not true. Russia has a right to Ukrainian territories because the West recognized Kosovo's independence. Vasily Nebenzia, Russia's UN ambassador, shared this message of Russian propaganda. He says Western delegations show double standards by refusing the residents of the occupied territories of Ukraine the right to self-determination. They claim that the situation is the same as with Kosovo leaving Serbia. Nebenzia said that the annexation of the Ukrainian territories is more lawful because they held the sham referenda there. The referendum in Kosovo was held in 1991. The Serbian minority living in the region boycotted it. The Albanian turnout was 87%. Of them, 99% voted in favor of independence. Since 2020, half of the UN member states have recognized Kosovo's independence.